Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Those of you who don't know what the hell you're yet. Hopalong PR here. We are back playing Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the third, and I decided to fill my hole in my party with Dick. He's just strong and hard enough to fill that nice hole. Just feels it so good. Anyhow, we are going to... There was a door that I had forgotten about. Well, not necessarily forgotten about, but... I had wanted to put off to a later date, and hey, today is a later date. So, let's see what Mueller and Olivert have in this door waiting for them. So I am thinking that it's the Chancellor that it's talking about as the Beast. But then again, I have been wrong before, and I'll probably be wrong plenty of times in the future, but that's just what I'm gathering from that little bit of knowledge. And if so, this one is going to be very, very interesting for me. Shall grant you a memory fragment and my blessing. Thank you. 1 month after the collapse of the Liberal Arc, the banquet to celebrate the crisis' successful resolution was over, with Estelle and her friends having largely left the capital to go elsewhere. One of them, however, Prince Olivert Rees Arnar, sat rather comfortably in the ambassador's office in Grensel's Erebonian embassy, his work in his country not quite settled. I can't believe that you... I mean, my deepest apologies for not noticing that you were His Highness Prince Olivert sooner. Oh, it's fine. It wasn't like I was parading around. Oh, I'm not surprised you never realized. I may be a prince, but my mother was a commoner. What point is there of bothering to remember my face? It's not as though I show myself in the palace or attend high society gatherings. Knowing me certainly isn't going to help you in moving up the ranks, my friend.
There's no need to be so humble, Your Highness.
Besides, I'm actually rather grateful to you, Ambassador. You give me all sorts of useful advice during my stay here at the embassy. I'm sure you'll benefit from the future. That I'll be sure to benefit from the future. Well meant words such as, act like a man of the Empire for once in a while. And stop idling here. Go home and try to do some damned work. Your Highness, Your Highness, I think you've tormented him enough for one day. The ambassador believed in the same way any other man would in his position. If anything, I said he had every right to be angry at us for keeping the truth from him for so long.
But, Mueller...
I suppose you're right. I'll spare him any more teasing for now. I actually wasn't joking about being grateful to you, though. You truly have done admirable work here over the past month.
I have?
Acting as a pipeline with the Empire, checking the safety of Erebonian residing Liberal, helping the international liner service to resume, and those are only the tip of the iceberg. You've done so much more. You're my deepest thanks as a prince of the Empire.
I'm not worthy of your praise, Your Highness. You, however, deserve the utmost praise for braving the dangers you did flying up to Liberal Arc. All of what happened seemed to cause quite the commotion in our homeland. So the people seem to be rather relieved now that they know that danger has passed. It's all thanks to your courage that they're able to rest easy.
Oh, there's no point in flattering me, Ambassador. I just did what I could. Nothing more, nothing less. I couldn't have done anything alone. All I was able to accomplish was thanks to the help of those around me. I'm fairly removed from the stereotype of Erebonians as stern, strong, and self-sufficient, if I do say so myself.
As rude as I may be to agree, perhaps you're correct. And I believe your willingness to be flexible most definitely helped rather than hinder you here. I believe people like you are exactly what the Empire needs in the future. Regardless how I may feel about His Excellency, the Chancellor's approach.
Ambassador. Well, this is a surprise. I was under the impression that you supported the Chancellor. Then again, you are a noble. Does that lead you to oppose his reformist policies, perhaps?
I may be a noble on paper, but I'm only a baron. All in all, I generally fall in favor of his reformist policies. Be that as it may, while this may be the result of being a liberal for so long, being influenced by the ways of its people, I do sometimes find myself becoming frightened by his hardline approach. I can't help but wonder what exactly direction he's going to take our old nation.
Interesting.
Your Highness?
Oh, I was just thinking that I'm quite glad to have taken the chance to engage in such a fruitful talk with you before departing the country. I pray you're doing all you can to ensure the peace of Liberal and its surrounding nations while I'm gone, preferably in cooperation with Ambassador Crochet.
Well, yes. Let's not forget her, I suppose. So, I suppose it's true that the Non-Aggression Pact was signed. There has been some progress with regards to the crossbow problem.
But wait a second. Does the Non-Aggression Pact still hold up at the end, well, during Cold Steel? I mean, I don't think Calvert actually did anything. I think that was largely in part by, the Liberation Front. But, yeah, I think that Non-Aggression Pact still holds.
And given that it was Liberal who proposed said pact, that makes a role in future negotiations very important indeed. I presume that's what you're trying to say?
Ha! You're a sharp one, my good old man. Excellent. Now I can return to the capital with my mind at ease.
Leave everything to me, Your Highness. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you have to achieve back in our homeland.
Okay, real question for all you out there. What relationship do you want? One like Joshua and Estelle, or one's like Oliver and Mueller? Personally, I'm for the latter. This is truly a country like no other. Never thought the day would come when I would hear such things from a noble of the Empire. Indeed, he's apparently somewhat less of an obstinate man than I thought he was. Perhaps this nation's very air has the power to genuinely change people. It seems like I've had effect on you too. I feel like I'm seeing more smiles from you these days than I used to.
I loathe to admit it, but that might be true. Still find myself wishing that you would learn from Librarian's dignity and sense of restraint, however. Two qualities you don't particularly possess in any measure, in fact. You have far too much of their opposites.
You say that, but these qualities are the only weapon that I have. I don't have much that'll allow me to compete against the Chancellor. I need to use what little happens to be tucked in my corner as best I can. Have there been any changes to our plans? None. We should be able to proceed as arranged. 3 days ago, the Chancellor left the capital on a tour of Eastern Arabonia. Tomorrow he'll be turning there aboard the Araceli when he's out in the east. All those who need to be made aware of our return have been given the proper notice. Your arrival in Arabonia will make a real impact. Of that, I am certain. And it did, because we saw articles in Cold Steel that even said that. What potential obstructions to the plans are there at present?
Nothing major. There have been some movements in the Intelligence Division's 4th subdivision, but not much. There's a chance that everyone is being cautious because the Araceli is involved. But I put greater odds on the idea that everyone is just treating this as a pompous performance by you and not taking it seriously. Well, they'd be right to it is. I have no choice but to start here, even if that means if I have to use Liberal. And if I'm going to put on a show, why not put on the finest one the skies have ever seen? I suppose I can't argue that. Sorry to trouble you this late hour, Your Highness. Message arrived from you from Hemdal. What would you have me do? Really? All right, come in. Pardon me. That's not who I think it is. Yeah, it is. Well, if it isn't Lecter. I was wondering where you'd been. I haven't seen you all day. I've been exceptionally busy with work since this morning, I'm afraid. Are you sure you've been busy? I've hoped to be able to come and see you earlier since you'd be leaving tomorrow. I'm totally sorry for not being able to do so. Oh, never mind that. If that work is yours is done now, we three could always enjoy some sensual quality time together for the remainder of the night. So what was that message from the Capital Secretary? They've acknowledged the receipt of His Highness' message. However, they did anticipate that you may be able to arrive away from Gransel in less than a half day. Such are currently in a minor panic trying to ensure that everything's ready for the ceremony tomorrow. That doesn't come to a surprise. It's nothing like the Araceli when it comes to speed at home. How cruel of you to so how cruel both of you are for so deftly ignoring my proposal. Although it sounds like the stage will be set in time. Now I need to decide on what outfit that would leave everyone's jaws on the floor to sweeten my arrival. Perhaps a glistening coat and white loincloth will do the trick. That'd make for a grand impact, all right. I almost wish I could go see it myself. Please don't encourage him. You show remarkable promise for someone so young. What do you say coming back on the Araceli with me? I'd welcome your company. Your care and Liberal is just about done, isn't it? Offer's certainly tempting, but I'm afraid I have another job to take care of soon. Though the thought is appreciated, though. Really?
Well, that is a shame. Good luck with your next job, of course. Thank you. Well, if you'll excuse me. Do you have anything to say in the words of from the words of the Chancellor? No? Okay. Bye. So that's Second Secretary Elector Arangel. So assume he's one of the Chancellors? Almost definitely, yes. He came through Hocking Gate on foot and took up his new position as embassy a month ago. And around the same time, we headed for a Liberal Ark aboard the Araceli at that. There's no way that could be coincidence. No, it couldn't. The most likely possibility seems that he's part of the intelligence division. Are you sure not doing anything regarding him at this time was a good idea? Oh, absolutely. We need some way to find out what the Chancellor was up to after all. Probably get some sort of reaction from the Chancellor through his reports at some point. Probably in about 2 weeks when the Chancellor's tour has finished. You planned this far ahead all along, had you? Well, in that case, I'll be sure we're ready. I'll be counting on you, love. Oh, something the matter? Not really. It seems the moon has come out. What a beautiful full moon it is. It's strange to think that this will be the last time you'll see the moon from here. Truth be told, I'm gonna miss it. Well, well. Looks like putting a smile on your face a little more often is the only thing the Liberals send for you. It's opened up your eyes to life's natural beauty as well. But in all seriousness, we'll just have to do all we can to be able to come back and see it once again, while we're both still alive. Heh, indeed. Huh. I knew that Oliver had a long con in the plans, but I didn't think it was anything this serious. What is he planning? I suppose that and Ouroboros' Grandmaster's plan, to me, hold equal level of interest. Your Majesty, Your Highness, I humbly thank you for both your generosity and hospitality during my stay in your fine kingdom. You were even gracious enough to humor my brazen request of escorting me back to Hemdall by the Araceli. The debt I owe you will be paid many times in the future. Rest assured of that. Oh, you needn't think of anything we went out of our way for. Escorting an honored state guest back home is a matter, of course, particularly a guest who we've owed a great debt of gratitude. If you have the opportunity, please come back to Liberal again in the future. Imagine Estelle and Josh will be back by then too, so I'll be able to give you a nice warm welcome. Ha! I'm already excited for my next visit. Have they left the country yet, by the way? They're busy getting ready to leave over in Roland at the moment, I believe. I'm planning to see them off when the time comes. I see. Steadily, while the ruins of Hemel are currently sealed off, I'll do what I can on my end to ensure they are allowed inside. Could I trouble you to pass that along to them? Certainly. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Oh, think nothing of it. It's the least I could do after all they've done for me. Oh, you're a great deal too, Cassius. If not for your assistance, stopping that armored division from crossing into Liberal wouldn't have been as simple as that. I could say the same to you. Still, as I'm sure you're aware, the outcome will have been within the realm of possibility for the Chancellor. I doubt he was even surprised by the incident. Really? Most likely not. Erebonia had anything to gain from using the situation to occupy Liberal. Certainly not to the extent that it would be worth going another way to develop insufficient steam tanks. The only reason I could see them doing that, what he did, was a show of power to surrounding nations, a statement that even without orbital power, Erebonia's army could still act. I indeed suspect that was his true aim all along. Goodness. So you did notice. The orbital shutdown phenomenon was a complete unknown to the rest of the continent. Perhaps it might never occur again, but there's always the chance it might, whether it's here or somewhere else entirely. I hear the Empire has only built a relatively small number of those tanks in all too, certainly not enough to launch a full-scale invasion. By the sounds of it, they were just put together in Reinford's factories using parts intended for standard orbital tanks. But as it stands, the know-how to put together the tanks only exists in the Empire. And in these unpredictable times, no other nation has the time or resources to try and develop extremely inefficient steam-powered weaponry. In a sense, because of what happened, the Imperial Army's effect had a deterrent is even greater than ever, using war as a diplomatic tool, very effectively at that. None of this has even occurred to me. I have a long way to go before I'm fit to be the ruler of this country. Oh, don't beat yourself up too much about it. He is no ordinary foe to even the most hardened veterans. Chancellor always seems to be thinking several steps ahead of the rest of the world. It is impressive, no matter what we may think of his actual ideas. I'm quite the reckless fool to be trying to challenge him if I do say so myself. Don't be silly, Your Highness.
How can you say that with a smile on your face? It's utterly beyond me.
Focus on building yourself a strong foothold to begin with. I do hope you'll be careful. No matter what may occur, be sure not to lose sight of exactly where you stand.
Of course, Your Majesty.
If I were to go and bring the shame upon myself now, I'd be wasting all the effort involved in escorting me back home. I'll be sure to take what you said to heart. Excuse me, Your Majesty. Hilda? Whatever's the matter? Not that I see you so flustered. It's just that I guess...
Uh-oh. It's not... It has to be. At least we'll see him in a 2D sprite form.
Sounds like it's about time to take my leave then. Actually, Mr. said he'd like to greet you as well, and not just Her Majesty.
Well, Chancellor, well played.
Hilda, who is the visitor? Well, he introduced himself as Chancellor Goliath Osborne of the Erebonian Empire.
Yep. Him and Lecter. I'm sorry. His forehead and nose kind of just droops down. Looks a little derpy to me.
It is an honor to be granted a personal audience. I am Goliath Osborne, representative of the Imperial Government. My apologies for the abrupt intrusion. So you're Chancellor Osborne. It's a pleasure to see you again, Your Highness. It's been a year since we last met, has it not? Hope these passing months have been you well. Yes, a year sounds about right. Still, I hope you'll forgive me for asking. Just what prompted someone of your stature to appear at the castle without warning? I'd very much like to hear your side of the story. My apologies, Your Highness. See, the past few days I've been touring Eastern Erebonia on routine inspections. It's been going very smoothly, more so than I had initially anticipated. I had enough free time in my schedule to pay a cordial visit. Oh my, is that so? Naturally, I would have preferred to come here while the crisis was still unfolding like you yourself did, Your Highness. Fortunately, the confusion in southern Erebonia was simply too pressing of a matter. I had no choice but to deal with that first. This is the first chance presented itself to come here and meet directly with Her Majesty, so I acted with utmost Hope you forgive my lack of proper decorum and failing to give you advance notice of my arrival. That does make sense, at least. Regardless, please don't concern yourself with me. No doubt you wish to offer your greetings to Her Majesty. My thanks, Your Highness. Well then, allow me to extend my most heartfelt greetings to both of you, Queen Alicia and Princess Claudia. It's abundantly clear that the crisis unfolded here has been quite the ordeal for yourselves and your nation's people. You have my deepest sympathies for the hardships you have endured, as well as my commendation for bringing the situation under control. Cassius, you can just kill him right now. Or, maybe brain him in the head so hard that he forgets everything, or loses at least 100 IQ points. Thank you for your kind words, Your Excellency. If anything, we should be apologizing to you for the fact that the southern side of your nation was caught up in what should have been our problem. We should have been the ones going to you, rather than having the trouble of yourself coming all the way to Liberal. Beg your acceptance apologies together with my deepest thanks for coming here today. I never ask your apologies. I've heard what happened was the work of shadowy organizations stirring up trouble within your borders. Strange how you had that knowledge of that. Well, I meant well by sending military force to aid you. I wouldn't have done something careless had I known the truth of the matter. Bullshit! My actions were rash, foolish even. And I was rightfully reprimanded by His Imperial Majesty for them. Oh my. Fortunately, His Highness and the Prince was able to act with all due haste to right my misstep before greater harm was done. I owe you a debt of gratitude for that, Your Highness. Congratulations, besides for your part in bringing an end to your crisis. Oh, I did nothing out of the ordinary. Had a lot of help from Her Majesty, Her Highness, Brigadier Bright here too. Bright, you say? It is a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency. I am Cassius Bright, Brigadier General for the Librarian Royal Army. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. Your name is rather well known in the Empire. Not as much as yours known here in Liberal, I would imagine. It's an honor to be able to speak with you in person. Certainly it's a surprise to be able to do so, though. Coming here on a whim must kind of been easy for a man as busy yourself. Sounds though I may have underestimated just how capable you truly are. Not at all. I was greatly impressed to see the Royal Army's effectiveness during the... something here. Your force is proven powerful yet flexible, capable of dealing with emergencies ably and decisively. I shall go far as to say it embodies ideal that the Imperial Army, with its swollen ranks, could never hope to realize. You flatter us, Your Excellency. For your part, I hear you're responsible for the establishment of the Imperial Army's famed intelligence division. Our army is desperate need of one of its own, so I find myself quite envious. Ha! Well, it sounds like the two of us have what each other wants. Ha! So it does. May I ask, Your Excellency, what will you be doing now? For my part, I'm intending to leave Liberal today, so I'm afraid I won't be around much longer. Yes, so I've been told. I believe you're intending to make your grand arrival at Hemdel aboard the famous Araceli. I'm impressed you're already aware. I'll switch your return to Erebony on board alongside of you. Alas, I have other business demanding my attention after I'm finished here. We're leaving Liberal separately this afternoon. It's quite a shame. Very much I'd like to invite you to this evening's banquet. Please, you need not trouble yourselves on my account. Feels I'll put you out enough showing up unannounced as I did. Nothing of dining with such esteemed company. Still, I do have some time before the airship I'll be leaving on is due to depart. That being the case, I want to ask for a little of your time, Your Highness. I have a few things I'd like to discuss with you personally. But of course. Very well. I have some matters that I'd actually like to discuss with you personally as well. What a fortuitous coincidence. Allow me to have a room arranged for the two of you to have your discussion. Hilda, if you would. Certainly. So even from the very beginning of his introduction, Osborne has always been a man not to fuck with. Him showing up is proving that. It's obvious that Her Majesty is quite the tea fancier. If this blend is anything to go by, the fragrance, the temperature, the taste, it's hard pressed to find any fault in that. I've always been more of a coffee man myself, but I have no doubt I'll be content with a cup of this at my desk each morning. As much as I agree with you, I don't believe we're here to sit and talk about beverages. So, shall we get right to the point? What do you want to discuss with me? Ha! See, your sojourn in Liberal has proven most fruitful. Pardon? When we last spoke, you struck me as a bright, flexible young man. And no doubt you still are, but I see in you resilient inner strength girding those aspects. I'm sure His Majesty will be most delighted with your personal development. Meanwhile, see, you're the same fearless man I've always known you to be. More so even, that crushing aura around you seems to have only grown in time. As if you fed on the resentment of those who live in the territories you annex. Ha! Such harsh words, Your Highness. Personally, I prefer the term political unification. Annex can carry such a negative connotation, you know. Since the end of the 100 Days War, our army hasn't committed a single act of aggression. All of our unifications have been entirely peaceful. Oh, you're quite right about that. On the surface. Oh. It's amazing how some of the annexation processes for every single time it happens. It starts with a small nation or independent state with an array of problems beyond repair. Those problems start to worsen, after which Jaegers and other dangerous elements enter, plunging public order into an all-time low. Desperate for a solution, the local government requests the help of the Imperial Army. Before they know it, they're part of the Empire. Well, it's not as I can deny what you're saying, since this does share certain commonalities. Still, it's to be expected, an inevitable consequence of the age of unchecked growth and progress in which we live. The Imperial Army is acting in the Empire's best interests, helping to stabilize our neighbors for the good of the Empire. And it's understandable that they would. I do find myself rather curious why Intelligence Division members are going to such nations with such peculiar frequency. Before the problem I described Zorson, no less. I won't press where you came by such information, just as curious as I am. I'll say this. On the most basic level, those actions are about risk management. It's because we've been acting to minimize such risks beforehand that the Army have been able to successfully quell each problem in turn. With the small price of earning disdain of the people of those nations and an increased risk of terrorism in exchange. To tell you the truth, I'm rather astounded that you had the courage to come to liberal of your own to begin with. For all, you've earned yourself the biggest target for terrorists in all of Arabonia. Yeah, target right in the middle of your chest. Your concern is touching, Your Highness. But I that you not trouble yourself with my safety. I have placed some very skilled subordinates tasked with primarily eliminating the risk of terrorist attacks against me. Really now? That's Lecter is one, I assume. A rather particular fellow, isn't he? But rather useful one all the same. Working out the scheduling for this trip and taking all the necessary precautions to ward off terrorism thefts was both his doing. Thanks to his commendable efforts, I can depart for Crossbell free from the worries as soon as I finish my business here. Crossbell? Are you surprised? I'll be participating in a top-secret discussion with a representative from the Crossbell government. Recently, a large number of funding has been flowing into the country through Republican channels, putting our allies on the defensive. I'd always meant to visit at some point, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. Are you out of your mind? Crossbell is full of enemies of different fractions at each throats. Here it's even a hotbed for terrorists and criminal organizations because of its position as a buffer state. Does that really sound like a place where an Erebonian Chancellor should be going to an unofficial visit? Surprised you're here advocating caution in the face of potential danger, Your Highness. After all, it was you who flew into an ancient city at great risk to your own safety, and returned unharmed for surviving it. Compared to such rousing risk-taking, my visit at Crossbell is child's play. I'm sure you're aware, you're regarded as something of a hero back in Erebonia now. To see a hero grand return befitting a newly minted legend, or the Araceli no less. Naturally, our hero has taken the time to ensure that every well-known newspaper and magazine are aware of his homecoming too. Oh, I have no doubts your triumphant arrival will be every bit as glorious as it played out in your imagining, Your Highness. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance to build upon yourself, to build a firm. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance as best you can to build yourself a firm foothold. I expect great things from you after all. That's a chance we've grown to know and love / be uncertain of and not trust at all. Sieg! Hey, buddy. You haven't changed one bit, eh? Really? Sound like a ton's happened, huh? It's nice to see you and your master doing all right. Lecter? Well, good day to you, Your Highness. Pray without causing any trouble at taking a tour of the castle like this. The view from this terrace is certainly beautiful, isn't it? What happened to you, Lecter? How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne? I'm sorry, I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. Are you perchance mistaking me for someone else? My name is Lecter Arnduro. You're a student council president in Genis Royal Academy, which you attended before leaving suddenly 2 years ago. So no, I am not mistaking you for someone else. That's what you're wrong. My name is Lecter Arnduro. Certainly, see how our names could become mixed up, however, they are similarly close. So now, just call me Lek. Don't you joke around with me, Lecter. Do you have any idea how worried I was when you disappeared all without a word? Somebody did you notice to leave the academy when you were never seen again? Even the otherwise calm Leo let out a cry of anger when he found out. And Lucy, all he could do to give a sad smile and say, this is just like him, the whole time with tears in her eyes. Jill and Hans were heartbroken, and so was I. Yet after all that, after all this time, you show yourself knowing full well that I'm here, and this is how you act. Pretending you're someone else. Lecter. Sorry, no need for the scary glaze. Still taking things way too seriously. Looks like I'll take more than stepping up as Crown Princess to change that part of you. Oh. You know, singing makes me feel kind of relieved. I just figured someone like you became Crown Princess, you'd have virtually no freedom to do anything other than work. From all that's reached my ears, it sounds like you've been doing all right for yourself. You made some great friends after I left the academy, didn't you? Nice. Sure did. Nonetheless, it's all thanks to you that I was able to change it all. You're the one who gave me the first push in the right direction. Never got the chance to thank you properly after you left. All this time I've been grateful to you. Well, consider me honored. Do I get a kiss in return? You do not. You'll respect for you, but nothing romantic. Ah, that's a bummer. There was me, all taken in by how pretty you'd become, wondering if you'd be the start of something downright magical. What happens instead? My dreams of romance and smooches are crushed to nothing before they can begin. You know. No, you don't mean a word of that, you know. You're very sharp yourself, though. It's not surprising to see. Every time I've seen you before today, it was that heavily frayed uniform. In the most sloppy way imaginable. I think you'll find I was merely making a fashion statement. And it wasn't laziness or sloppiness. Every part of it was calculated to consider the Yes, looking a slob to make sure that people don't expect much of you. Scary thing is, I actually believe you. You always seemed like you cared for nothing but having fun and causing trouble. When it came down to it, you were wise beyond your years. And I've finally seen part of the reason behind that today. I'll ask you again, Lecter. How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne like this? What happened to you between your submitting your notice to leave the academy and now? Nothing. He was probably already working for Osborne before he attended the academy. Do you know? I have to admit, I never imagined that would be the case. On the contrary, I was expecting you to tell me to back off. Oh, ideas forbid. What reason would I have to suggest such a thing? After all, at the end of the day, positions are functionality the same. I'm not sure I understand. I do. Do you not think so? Personally, I find it difficult to believe that you would not harbor some hatred towards Erebonia as it is today. A grand empire clinging to the glories of a bygone era, ruled by the nobility and shackled by meaningless convictions. Am I wrong? People call me the Blood and Iron Chancellor as though I hold the whole of Erebonia in the palm of my hand. Well, you're not wrong. But in reality, my position is far more tenuous. I have supporters and allies in the capital, certainly, but outside its walls, the nobility holds far more sway than any of them. And while it is true I hold a great amount of power in the form of the Imperial Army, even then I only command around 70% of it. The remainder is loyal to the nobility, who maintain their own private armies. With those factored in, my advantage shrinks substantially. It's almost too bad, like you couldn't start a fucking revolution or something. So you see, I'm still very much in the midst of a battle to truly exert my control. Which is why you're building railways all over the country to expand your area and influence. You've been annexing new territories to that same end. As I've long thought, you clearly understand me better than anyone else. That's why I'll say this once again. Work with me, Your Highness. With your support, our nation will be able to bring about real reform faster than ever. The noble faction, bloated with its centuries of decadence, can be stopped before they even have the chance to unify against us. Surely, that's what you desire more than anything. Let me just ask you a simple question, Chancellor. What connection do you have with Ouroboros? I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say this, however. I'm a firm believer in using every resource at my disposal in the name of achieving reform. That's why I believe in handling politics. I see. Well, it certainly does seem as though we see eye to eye in many ways. And that's all the more reason why I'm afraid I must refuse your offer. Is that so? Yes, I find it difficult to like the Ryan noble faction as it exists in the Empire. Or perhaps you're right, that hate is more the appropriate word. My feelings of fear towards your methods are far greater than my feelings of hatred towards the nobles. What you seem to be doing is trying to compel Erebonians with a delusive utopia to whip them into an enthusiastic frenzy. No doubt by successfully convincing the people, the old guard will fall into the metaphorical firestorm created. And yet by then, the gears will have already begun turning. There'll be no satisfying aroused populace with thirst for revolution. The storm will keep growing larger and more ravenous, engulfing anything and everything in its wake. You know this, don't you, Chancellor? But of course, After all, that's what I intend to happen. It's the first stage of my reforms. And it happens. Be happy to share further details with you if you decide to work with me, Your Highness. In the meantime, I wish you well in strengthening your foothold back in the Empire. Of course, if that's your intention, find a necessity will work those nobles you so despise. You truly do see through everything, don't you? Sounds like the noon bell. The airship should be arriving shortly. So everything in the Cold Steel 1 and 2 went according to his plans. So the end phrase for Cold Steel 2 of that the battle for the Empire has just begun. I wonder if it's between Chancellor versus Olivert versus Ouroboros, because I can't imagine they're too happy with him winning, or if it's something else entirely. Obviously, Olivert and Ouroboros aren't working together. They're just both fighting against him. And I've seen a lot of screenshots of McBurn and 2 other Ouroboros members in a lot of places in Erebonia. So that might be the point. Which means it's time for me to take my leave, I'm afraid. I look forward to seeing you again in the capital in 2 weeks' time. So I guess at this point, it's which evil we want to succeed. Well, evil for Oswald may be pushing it. Extreme, yes. Evil, maybe not so. I take it the discussion is over then? What's wrong? Look awfully tired. Oh, nothing. Just feeling odd and new at what a monster I've decided to pick a fight with. Oopsie. I think it's about time for the airship to arrive. I'm gonna have to stop you there and get going. What? See you, Sig. See, I'll bring you some Erebonian salami. Salad. That's soon, okay? Hey, wait. You planning to just disappear without telling me what second time? Oh, got an important question for you. Did you fall in love with someone while I was away? Uh-huh. Hit the nail on the head, huh? Oh, that's so cute. First love, right? How's that feel? Heart all flutter 1 minute, end of the world the next. Don't you dare start teasing me. But you're right, I did. You rejected me on the very spot not long ago. Wait, you're joking, right? That's a coincidence I did not see coming. Not sure about that. Feels like you knew everything sometimes. Not sort of all-seeing, all-knowing divinity. This makes the world so interesting to me. Oh, happy for you, Chloe. Knowing the pain of lost loves would make a girl blossom, in my humble opinion. Do you feel like the whole experience let you get one step to the person you wanted to be? Well, what about you? Feel like you're getting close to becoming the person you want to be? By being at the Chancellor's side? Interesting. Kinda hard to do that when I don't have a person I want to be with to begin with. Just stick in with him because it feels like it'll be fun. That's all. Been doing it since before I joined the Academy, in fact. You have? Yep. That prince is proving to be surprisingly capable, but he still isn't a match for the Chancellor. Tell him to watch his back, alright? So he doesn't have to get swallowed up by that monster after he gets tired of dancing. I think Albert's gonna die here soon. Not in this game, but I don't know. With everything that went according to Chancellor's plans, Albert's got little time left. Thank you all for waiting. The Cabaret International Airliner bound for the Principality of Raphimia will be departing momentarily. Please mind your footing while boarding. I just want to ask this question of all of you. Is there another game series out there that can even hold a candle to Legend of Heroes as a whole? With the story it's been building, with the character developments, with... I'd say the only really lacking point is battle, but that's just me preferring more of an action approach. But nonetheless, I honestly can't think of a game series that comes close to this. And it makes me sad because this is the last game I'll be able to play in quite a while. Maybe a year time at the very shortest. So that was the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Can't believe he actually went out of the way to use a civilian airship when he probably has a private one of his own. I'd heard rumors about how out of the ordinary he is, but he lives up to all of them. He keeps me on my toes, to put it playfully enough. Him aside, thank you for coming all this way to see me off, Shara. I was lucky just having to have business here at the right time. Feels like this is going to be the last chance we get to see each other for a while, after all. Rather unfortunate, as my dream is and always was to live away my days at the lap of luxury, surrounded by women as beautiful as you. Well, good luck with that. Changing the subject, though. Who was the young man at the Chancellor's side? He didn't strike me as an ordinary guy. Oh, you could tell. But of course, seem used to running into people who are out of the ordinary at this point. We sure fought enough of them. His name is Lector Andura, the secretary who was sent here by the Imperial government. Apparently, he was the one who planned out all the details for the Chancellor's visit to Liberal. I can't pretend to know much regarding his background, but he's exceptionally skilled at what he does. Actually, I know a little. What? Oh? Is that true? Yes. Explain the situation. Also mentioned sudden disappearance. Unbelievable. Then, someone connected to the Chancellor had visited Liberal first, and he's very likely had his own veritable information network established here long before I even came to with the idea. I think it's safe to say that's the case. Which also means it's safe to assume that he knows every detail about all that's happened here since. From the coup to the crisis regarding the early. All of it. This man gets more unbelievable by the minute. He actually gave me a message to pass on to you earlier. Watch your back so you don't get swallowed up by that monster when you get tired of dancing. He sure knows how to sting where it hurts, doesn't he? I feel I can see the whole new world of pleasure opening up before my eyes. He should know better. Getting outdone at every turn like this is really not my style. What do you mean? Captain Swartz, I have a little favor I'd like to ask you when we're in the air. He's gonna fly past it, isn't he? I'm rather impressed with how Prince Albert has come along. No matter how he chooses to act from here on, he will have his uses, to be certain. You would say that, given that we think of everyone as your pawns. There's me, the prince, that society. Indeed, and I am much the same. We are but pawns, the vast game board that is the Empire, where a thrill like no other will take place. Because of you too, wish to see how that game turns out. It's why you've chosen to stand with me, is it not? Well, hey, what can I say? Don't forget that this piece right here might not be loyal forever. And such a betrayal will be perfectly fine by me. Or did you only think I'd never consider that possibility might happen? Just thought I'd come out and say it. How are the other Iron Bloods doing, by the way? They're all doing very well by the sounds of it. The rate that things are going, there's a chance all the prince's efforts will be for naught. Perhaps I have to hold back on him a little. Ugh, you should have learned punches, do you? You know something? I wouldn't write him off so easily if I were in your shoes. What? Yep. What? Beautiful. Those look like rose petals? So look out the window at the right-hand side of the airship. You'll be able to see the famous high-speed cruiser, the Araceli. You're informed that it's on its way to the imperial capital of Prince Albert of the Robian Empire on board. It's also given us to relay to all the passengers aboard today. I give thanks to Idios for the good fortune to have been able to meet you today. May your journey be filled with beautiful roses and her blessings. And of course, may your journey to your home be safe and pleasant. It marks the end of his message. Wait. What if Cold Steel 3 takes place in Western Arabonia, where Oliver Mueller were the entire second, well, not the entire, most of the second game? That'll explain if they got a better foothold there, because he was already decently liked in Eastern. Never thought there'd be a bigger dumbass in the world than me. And yet, here we are. Ah, ha, ha. Very well, you debaucherous prince. Look forward to seeing what you can do. Show me how long you can hold out against me. I'm happy I played this game last, to be honest, to see how everything turned out in his favor. Divine Eye. 7,000 Mira. Well, that was quite the episode. Alright, so how many episode here? That door was as beautiful as I was expecting it to be. So thank you guys for watching. If you have anything you want to say, make some noise down in the comments below. Again, I don't know if there's a game series out there that can hold a candle to this. If I'm wrong, please tell me. I want to play it. Because this game is so goddamn good. Well, all the games are. But anyhow, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for staying weird and dealing with me.